Welcome to this August tarot reading for inner healing and personal growth. The cards that came out are speaking of finding balance, finding your own balance, but also re-getting your spark, your energy back. So let's dive in. So what energy are you coming into the month of August with? We got a pretty hard card. We got the 10 of Swords. And the 10 of Swords speaks of being kind of stabbed in the back, this feeling of just needing to collect yourself in a heap. It might be also like feeling like burnout. I'm getting that a lot this time of the year. And just you see this card, it just feels like it's almost like you've had enough, like you've gone through it all. You don't feel very excited. You might be feeling a little bit victimy, a little bit like also just there's a lot that you're carrying, also from the world. A lot is going on. It feels heavy right now. And so that's what you're coming in with the month of August. What is your soul lesson this month? Interesting. We got the Two of Pentacles. And the Two of Pentacles is about juggling and finding balance and basically also juggling everything in your to-do list. And maybe that is where you're feeling that depletion or that kind of harsh feeling of just heaviness, of being kind of like pinned to the ground. And maybe it's about finding balance and finding a better balance in your work and family life or personal life, just finding it, making it work, because otherwise if you're not going to find that balance, you might be feeling this depletion again, this harsh reality of being kind of just very heavy. And so this card though is also just about, I love in this deck that beautiful butterfly. And I think we need to remember that, we always hear about the butterflies and how they go through that chrysalis period and they kind of like, they kind of die. And this card, the 10 of Swords, is actually the end of something because it's a 10, which means it's the end of a cycle. And so there's a kind of a death there. And you can see there's a death in this card. It's a heavy, hard, dark card. And so what I'm getting here is though that when you find your balance, when you find the kind of way that you can start getting some of that, your passion and your energy and everything that you've kind of lost from this card back, and you start to feel that balance again, that's where you're going to start to grow your wings and start to transform, metamorphorize. So this card is just about finding that balance and finding also your equilibrium in the whole. What to let go of this month? We got the 6 of Swords. Interesting. So more swords. And it's funny, the swords in this card actually are very similar to this. It's just that heaviness, that darkness. So what are you letting go of? The 6 of Swords is often about transition, going from the heavy to the rainbow. Interesting that we see that rainbow also in this card. So it's like a transition. So how can you be letting go? I don't think it's about letting go of the transition. You're definitely moving upward to that rainbow, to this Two of Pentacles. But I do think you need to let go of the heaviness, because this card often talks about when we're going from the more, chaotic, choppy waters into smoother waters, we're still holding those swords. We might be holding grudges or holding the stories that go with them, because swords actually have to do with our personal truths, not the truth, but our personal truths, and maybe the stories we're holding. And when we hold on to them, they're heavy and they're baggage that it makes it harder to have the transition, because this card again speaks of moving from one place to the other. But if you keep holding on to that baggage, the transition is going to be longer. It's not going to be as easy, and it's not going to be as fast either. So what to let go of? The baggage. Let go of the story. Let go of whatever it is that's been pinning you down. Try not to hold on to that idea. I know how tough that can be. Sometimes we hold on to ideas and stories because they actually help us. They help us grow and they help us move away from those stories or help us avoid them later on. But sometimes when we hold on to the story too much, it can really weigh us down. What are you to lean into? Ooh, beautiful. We got the 9 of Pentacles. So it's interesting. We have these mix of the swords and then the pentacles here. And so what I'm really getting here is leaning in. So leaning away from the heaviness, leaning away from what you're bringing into this month with, and moving towards your sovereignty, moving towards your strength, because the 9 of Pentacles is all about basically being your own sovereign, being independent, being able to care for yourself, regardless of what other people are doing and what other stories are there. You in yourself are going to be able to support yourself, and whether that be financially, but also just emotionally and for your body. And so it's really tuning in and leaning into that, leaning into the things that make you feel good. This card can also be about filling your own cup. doing the things that are nourishing. And since pentacles have to do with our body and the physical, maybe this is about also taking a time to cocoon, lean into the things that make you feel good, lean into the things that really help your body and help you actually feel good in your own self. What can that mean? Maybe it's taking naps. Maybe it's really eating well. Maybe it's also making sure that you're getting your exercise or your sleep. Because I know personally sometimes when I'm coming from a period like this, when I'm coming from like just that heaviness, we do have a tendency sometimes to be like, oh, well, I'm going through all this stuff, so I'm just going to give myself a break and I'm not going to do my things that usually make me feel good. I'm not going to necessarily meditate or journal or eat correctly. I'm just going to give myself a break. I've already gone through a lot. But actually, sometimes that's actually when we need to really pay attention to ourselves even more, to really do the things that help us. Because if we really are coming in this energy, as you can see in this card, this is heavy. This is feeling depleted. And so we do need to take care of ourselves and really give ourselves that nourishment. So what is the message of love from your guides or your higher self? I just loved seeing these two cards come out. So we got the Six of Wands, so another six, and we got a Ace of Wands. So wands. So we had been going in the swords energy and the pentacle energy, and now we're moving into the wand energy for this last part. And I love seeing this butterfly come out too. It's almost like once you find your balance and once you're able to kind of let go of that heaviness, you're going to rise from the heaviness. This actually really looks very similar to that heap of swords. You have the heap of wands here, and that butterfly is just like moving away from it. And I love also seeing this one come out, this the Ace of Wands, which talks about sparks and energy and new energy. And especially if you're coming from this place, which if you're anything like me, I've really been feeling that way these days. This is so nice to feel. It's like, okay, after this kind of heaviness that we've been moving through, there is going to be this fresh spark, this fresh lighting up of something's going to be making you feel that energy again, making you feel like getting up off your heap of the floor, making you get up from this heap down here of those swords as well. And it's going to just give you that spark again and that kind of freshness, because aces have that freshness to them. And I want to come back to this card though, the Six of Pentacles. The Six of Wands, because the Six of Wands is about basically finding success and like victory, and usually it's linked to a public recognition in somehow. But I think here it's more about you finding your own success and your own recognition for the work that you're doing and the balance that you're finding. Because finding balance, let's say it, is not the easiest thing to do sometimes. And making sure that we are respecting our own boundaries to be able to find that balance. So on that, I'm wishing you lots of love and lots of laughter for this month of August. Have a wonderful time, and I'll see you next month. Thanks so much for watching.